Do you have to learn to make a perfect budget and then start the painful process of scrimping and saving to get rich? There's a book that tells us it's completely unnecessary. It even puts forward a bolder view: you are actually much richer than you think. This is the core idea conveyed by the classic book The Latte Factor that we're going to delve into today. It's not a complicated financial textbook, but a wonderful journey that allows you to see the truth about your finances through a relaxing story. The author, David Bark, discovered an amazing secret. Whether we can ultimately retain wealth and achieve prosperity often doesn't entirely depend on the level of income, but more on how we handle every penny we earn. That is, those latte factors we never pay attention to. In the following time, I'll take you into the essence of this book and tell you why 99% of people have misunderstood the cliched advice of paying yourself first. Get ready, this may be a brainstorm that makes you re-examine every expense. Here's an interlude. Recently, many people have sent me private messages saying that the speaking speed is too fast, or asking if there's a platform just for listening. Starting today, you can click the Chishure music link at the bottom left of the video to download and install it, and then you can listen to all my content. It supports speed-adjustable playback, allows you to freely create playlists, and you can even listen with the screen locked by setting a timer to turn it off. In the previous section, we talked about the fact that you are actually much richer than you think. I guess after hearing that, you might be thinking to yourself, here we go again, another piece of chicken soup for the soul. I know exactly how much money I have in my pocket. Don't worry, this is not a piece of chicken soup, but a cruel mathematical fact. To uncover this fact, we must first understand the core and most well-known concept in today's book, The Latte Factor. What exactly is the latte factor? It has nothing to do with whether you drink lattes or not. Latte is just a symbol. It represents all those unnecessary, habitual small expenses in your life that you spent without thinking, and they don't cost much anyway. For us, it might not be a latte, but that life-saving milk tea you buy on your way to work every day, the taxi you take casually because you got up late, or for convenience when you could have taken the subway, the extra takeout you ordered to meet the minimum purchase for a discount even though you can't finish it, or the 7 or 8 video, music, and cloud storage memberships on your phone that are automatically renewed every month, but you rarely use. These are the unique latte factors for each of us. Their biggest feature is unnoticeable. Because the single amount is too small, we spend it without any feeling, as naturally as breathing, and we don't even bother to keep accounts. But it's these things we ignore that are quietly devouring our huge wealth in the future. I know you must think I'm exaggerating. It's just a cup of milk tea. How much can it devour? Here comes the most crucial part. Let's assume that your daily latte factors add up to 30 yuan, and you might really not feel it. But if I tell you that if you take these 30 yuan that slip away quietly every day and deal with them using the magic called compound interest, which is what we often call interest on interest, and persist for 40 years, guess how much it will become? The answer is more than 4 million yuan. You heard it right, 4 million yuan, a huge sum of money enough for you to pay a good down payment in a first-tier city, or even buy a house outright in many second- and third-tier cities. What does this sum of money mean? It means the right to choose in the second half of your life, the confidence to say no to a job you don't like, the ability to take your family around the world, and the ease to cope with any accidents in life. And the raw material for creating this huge sum is that cup of milk tea money you don't care about every day. Do you still think you really have no money? No, it's not that we have no money. Each of us is actually sitting on an invisible gold mine of our own. But sadly, we are using a straw every day to drink and consume this gold mine little by little, comfortably and even happily, without realizing it. We think we are enjoying life, but in fact, we are advancing the poverty of the future. Zoe, the protagonist in the book, is the epitome of all of us. She always felt that she was extremely poor, and her biggest worry was I can't afford it. But her mentor Henry, like a detective, helped her find out all her daily expenses: lattes, snacks, juices, bottled water. Zoe was shocked to find that what she consumed every day was not food, but the precious tickets to her dreams. But she tore them up one by one with her own hands. Okay, now we all know how amazing this ignored latte factor is, but new questions have arisen. I understand the principle, but I have to pay rent, repay credit cards, eat, and live every month. Where can I find extra money to save? Even if I don't drink this cup of milk tea today, won't these 30 yuan be spent elsewhere? How can we really save it and turn it into the 4 million yuan in the future? Don't worry, this is exactly the most powerful part of this book. It tells us that the traditional way of saving money is wrong. To really keep money, we must use a new way of thinking, and this way of thinking is hidden in the first secret of getting rich. We'll reveal it in the next section. In this section, we'll break down the first and most core secret of getting rich. You may have heard this secret countless times, but the book The Latte Factor tells us that 99% of people have misunderstood it. This secret is pay yourself first. When you hear these 6 words, what's the first thought that comes to your mind? Is it, oh, I've been working overtime like a dog this month. I must buy a new phone to reward myself. This is paying myself first. Or I did a great job on this project. I must buy a designer bag to reward myself. This is paying myself first. Stop. If that's what you think, then congratulations. You've successfully fallen into the trap that most people fall into. The book The Latte Factor points out sharply that the biggest misunderstanding of the golden rule of pay yourself first is that people interpret it as spend money to reward yourself first, which is completely different. The real definition given by this book may subvert your cognition. The true meaning of pay yourself first is that at the moment your monthly salary is credited to your bank card, before you start calculating how much rent to pay, how much credit card to repay, how much utilities to pay, and even before you think about paying taxes, the first person you need to pay is not the landlord, not the bank, not the tax bureau, but the most important and easily ignored person in your life, the 65-year-old you. That's right, the one with grey hair, who may no longer have the ability to work and needs to rely on savings to spend their old age. You must compulsorily and unwaveringly allocate a portion of your monthly income to this future self first. This is a complete shift in thinking. Most of us are used to the formula income minus expenses equals savings. That is, the money left after spending is called savings. But the result of this model is often living from paycheck to paycheck, because people's desires are infinite and there's never enough money to spend. However, the pay yourself first model is income minus savings equals expenses. When you get the money, you first set aside the money to save, like paying taxes, and then you arrange how to spend the remaining money. Even if you spend it all, you've already completed the most important financial task of the month. You are living on the remaining money, not saving with the remaining money. To make you more intuitively see the seriousness of the problem, there's a metaphor of 10 kinds of financial management methods in the book. Imagine that you work hard for 8 or 9 hours a day. After paying taxes, rent, credit cards, and covering all food, drink, and daily expenses, how much time are you really working for your own future? For most people, the answer is cruel but true: 0. We spend the whole day creating wealth for others. So how to break this cycle? The method given by the Latte Factor is to take back the first hour of your daily work and make it your unshakable savings. This is no longer an empty slogan, but a practical and calculable tip. How to calculate it? It's very simple. Divide your after-tax monthly salary by 22 working days, then divide by 8 hours to get your approximate hourly wage. For example, if you get 8,800 yuan a month, Your hourly wage is about 50 yuan. Then the principle of pay yourself first immediately becomes the first task you must complete every month. Say 50 yuan multiplied by 22 days, which equals 1,100 yuan. This 1,100 yuan is the salary you pay to your future self, and it's the highest priority bill among all your bills. You must pay this bill first, and then arrange your life with the remaining money. You see, thinking about it this way, you are no longer saving money, but justifiably paying yourself a salary. This shift in thinking is the starting point of accumulating wealth. It turns you from a passive paycheck-to-paycheck person into an active wealth planner. Instead of sighing at the bills at the end of the month, you have already cast the most important vote of approval for your future at the beginning of the month. Okay, now we have a clear and quantifiable savings goal. But a new problem arises. Human nature is lazy and forgetful. How can I ensure that I can execute this plan unwaveringly every month like a robot? What if I forget or can't resist temptation? Don't worry, the author has long thought of this, which leads us to the second secret, the ultimate tool that's a boon for lazy people, allowing this savings plan to be executed automatically and perfectly without any willpower from you. In the previous section, we finally figured out the true meaning of the golden rule of paying yourself first. It's not about making you spend, but about forcing you to save a portion of the money as soon as you get it, to pay your future self. This principle is like the internal energy method in martial arts secrets. Once mastered, your power increases greatly. But I guess after hearing this, you must have a huge question mark in your mind. It's a good principle, but it's too hard, right? Yes, it's really hard. Because it requires us to fight against the strongest enemy in human nature, our own laziness, forgetfulness, and constant consumer impulses. Think about it. On the day you get your salary every month, you have to first fight with the little devil in your heart that says buy it, then rely on iron willpower to open your mobile banking and tremblingly transfer a sum of money to your savings account manually. You do it this month, but what about next month? The month after? What if one day you forget, or just happen to see a new phone or a new pair of shoes? Can you resist? This kind of savings method that completely relies on personal self-discipline is like losing weight. It always starts with a bang and ends with a whimper. So this is exactly the most brilliant and down-to-earth part of the latte factor. It unceremoniously points out a misunderstanding we've been educated with since childhood: making a budget. Think about it. Does the phrase making a budget make you feel your scalp tingle and uncomfortable? You need to act like an accountant, noting down your breakfast, lunch, dinner, whether you took the subway or a taxi, drank milk tea or bought water. Then at the end of each month, you painfully reflect on that pile of densely packed numbers. Oh no, I overspent again this month. This feeling is terrible. The book says that any system that makes you feel bad and full of guilt is destined not to last. Because it's against human nature, it focuses on what you can't do, and it's built on deprivation and sacrifice. No one can live in the pain of deprivation for a long time. One day, you'll completely break out, have a retaliatory spending spree, and spend all the money you saved before with interest. So if making a budget is a difficult mode that's destined to fail, is there a simple mode that allows us to save money while lying down? Yes. The book gives a two-word answer, an ultimate financial cheat for us ordinary people, lazy people, and paycheck-to-paycheck folks. These two words are automatic. The second secret to paying is not to make a budget, but to form a habit. And the best way to form a habit is to make it automatic. This concept is simple to the point of absurdity, but its power is greater than imagined. Its core idea is, build a system that automatically saves money for you, then completely forget about it. A system that can completely exclude yourself, your biggest enemy, and your wavering willpower. How to do it specifically is easier than ordering a takeout. You just need to spend 5 minutes on one-time settings. Step 1. Open your mobile banking app, Alipay or WeChat. Step 2. Find the function called regular investment or automatic transfer. Almost all mainstream apps have this function now. Step 3. Set a rule, such as on the 10th of each month, which is your payday, automatically transfer 500 yuan from my salary card to this designated wealth management fund or another dedicated savings card. Step 4. Click confirm, then the most critical step, completely forget about it. Yes, you heard it right. From the moment you set it up successfully, you have a 24/7, year-round, silent and hard-working financial robot. It has no emotions, won't be lazy, won't be tempted by more discounts, and won't forget tasks. On payday every month, before you have time to open shopping apps and wonder what you can buy with these 500 yuan, whoosh, the money has disappeared from under your nose, safely delivered to your future self. This is truly painless saving. Money you can't see, you won't be tempted to spend. The remaining money in your salary card is what you can safely spend this month. You can spend it all without any guilt because you've already paid the most important person, your future self. Actually, think about it. This is the smartest method the country uses when collecting taxes. Does it wait until the end of the year to let you actively pay a large sum? No, it deducts taxes directly from the source when paying salaries. Automation is letting you manage your own money with the wisdom of national tax collection. Zoe, the protagonist in the book, completely turned around her financial situation with this trick. After hearing this secret, she went home and spent less than 5 minutes setting up several automatic transfers, respectively to her pension account, travel account, and photography class account. These short 5 minutes changed her financial destiny for decades to come. Okay, now we've built this automatic money-making machine, which technically solves the problem of how to save money. But a new, deeper problem emerges. Why should I do this? Why should I watch a sum of money slip away from me every month? Just to make a distant account number bigger, it still doesn't sound attractive enough. A machine can faithfully execute a plan, but a person needs a great dream to drive them. So how can we inject a hot, inspiring soul into this cold, automatic savings system? This leads to the third and most profound, most human secret in the latte factor, which will completely change your view on saving money. We now have a perfect automatic savings machine. But why should we watch hundreds or even thousands of yuan evaporate from our salary cards every month? Just to feed a distant, invisible savings account, just for a string of numbers in 40 years. To be honest, this reason is too fragile and unattractive. It's simply not enough to support us through these long decades. Because a machine can execute tasks coldly, but we are living people, we need a hot, inspiring reason. This is the third and most profound, most human secret in the latte factor, the part that injects soul into our entire financial plan. This secret sounds even like a paradox. Live a rich life now. You might immediately retort, wait, did you get that backwards? Haven't we been talking about saving for the future and sacrificing current consumption? Now you're saying we should live a rich life now. Isn't that contradictory? This is precisely the most wonderful part of this secret. The book explains that living a rich life now is not about going on a spending spree now, but requires you to complete a profound ideological transformation. It requires you to stop and seriously ask yourself a question we may never have asked ourselves in our lives. What is truly most important in my life? Think carefully. If you don't have a clear answer to this question, then every time you save money, it will feel like a sacrifice. You didn't drink that cup of milk tea, and you'll feel wronged. You didn't buy that new dress, and you'll feel like you're having a hard time. But what if every time you save money, you're not sacrificing, but voting for the life you truly want? This idea completely changes the nature of saving. You're not giving up a cup of milk tea, You're casting a 30 yuan vote for your future travel fund. You're not giving up a taxi ride. You're casting a 20 yuan vote for your study fund next year. You're not giving up a discounted dress. You're saving startup funds for your dream of freelancing. You see, when you think this way, saving money is no longer a painful subtraction, but an addition full of hope and power. You're using every tiny action today to personally build your future dream castle. Zoe, the protagonist in the book, went through this journey of self-discovery completely. The most important thing her mentor Henry did was not to teach her how to calculate accounts, but to guide her to close her eyes and find the things that make her heart race and truly make her happy. What did Zoe find? She found a few keywords, which later became the compass of her life. She wrote down freedom, adventure, beauty. Later, after experiencing her mother's illness, she added the most important one, family. This list is Zoe's map of life values. From that moment on, her financial plan had a soul. She was no longer saving money aimlessly. She was saving for freedom, for adventure, for seeing all the beautiful scenery in the world, and for having more time to accompany her family. That expensive photo hanging in the cafe, which she once thought she could never afford, also changed from an unreachable commodity to a real destination she was stepping into step by step. This is the true meaning of living a rich life now. It means starting today, aligning your life completely with your deepest values, and making every savings deposit and every expense a reflection of those values. Would you claim to prioritize health while spending all your money on takeout and junk food? Would you say you crave growth and experiences while splurging on clothes you never wear and games you'll never play again? The third secret acts like a mirror, revealing the hypocrisy in our lives where our words don't match our actions. It demands that we spend money on what truly matters to us. True abundance has never been about a number in a bank account. It's a state of mind, a sense of confident control and clear purpose, and knowing that you're building your dream life through small, consistent actions. This feeling is priceless. By now, our wealth system is complete. We know what to save, how to save it, and why we're saving. This logical loop sounds seamless, but I know many of you have been holding back, with a loud, almost unshakable voice screaming, "You're right, but this is all for people with extra money." My problem is simple, 5 words. I don't earn enough. My salary is so small. I struggle just to survive each month. Where's the latte factor for me? Where's that first hour of pay to save? This thought may be the biggest, hardest obstacle on the path to financial management. It weighs on us like a mountain. Is this a harsh reality, or the perfect excuse we've made for ourselves? In the next section, we'll confront this big boss, tear it apart, and expose its true nature. We've built a seemingly perfect wealth system, but I know a voice in you has been resisting for the past few minutes. It repeats, "Don't listen, it's all empty." Your problem is different. Yours is clear. I don't earn enough. After rent and food, my salary is gone. I'm surviving, not living. Talking about latte factors or the future is unrealistic. First, this feeling is real, painfully so. When overwhelmed by reality, any future plans sound like empty talk, even offensive. But the latte factor challenges this ironclad fact we believe in. It makes a bold, even provocative claim. For most of us, the real culprit blocking wealth isn't income level, but spending habits. The book uses a vivid metaphor. For most people, income is like river water, and expenses are like boats on it. When the water rises, what happens? The boats rise too. Think back. Have you ever gotten a raise? What was your first thought when you saw the higher salary? Did you save every extra penny? Most don't. More likely, great, I can move closer to work, to a nicer place, or I can finally buy the latest phone, or time to splurge at that fancy restaurant I've been eyeing. This is human nature. Our lifestyle expands like a sponge, soaking up all our income. We still feel poor, just at a higher spending level. We go from living paycheck to paycheck on cheap meals to doing the same on pricey salads, from subway rides to taxi fares. Life feels better, but financial anxiety and insecurity stay the same. This is the rising tide lifts all boats trap. If high income were the only solution, how do we explain lottery winners who go bankrupt in years? Or sports stars and Hollywood celebrities with astronomical salaries who end up in lawsuits and debt? The book points out, their problem was never insufficient income. They had more money than most of us will see in a lifetime. Their real issue? A lack of a money management system. Their income was a fire hose, but their wealth bucket had a huge hole. This proves, it's not how much flows in that matters, but how much you keep. Zoe, the book's protagonist, embodies this. She'd just gotten a raise at the story's start, earning much more. Did she become richer? No, her finances worsened. With more income came more spending, a nicer apartment, pricier lunches, more treats. Her income rose, and so did her expenses. She was still living paycheck to paycheck, just a fancier version. It wasn't until she embraced the latte factor that her finances finally showed real surplus on the same salary. Thus, the latte factor demands we redefine our problem. The urgent question isn't, how do I earn more? Though important, it's how do I create a gap between income and expenses with my current earnings and use an automatic system to channel that gap into my future. The latte factor is the magnifying glass to find that gap. It doesn't require doubling your salary overnight. It finds the neglected 30 yuan in your current life. As we calculated, that alone can build a million-level future. I know this may convince some, but doubts creep in. Fine, habits matter more than income, but investing sounds so complicated. Reading stock charts, studying funds, it's harder than calculus. I'm no finance major, and I'm bad at math. What if I lose all my savings? I might as well spend it. Or a quieter thought, why worry? Things will work out. Someone will help me when I need it. These ideas are as dangerous as I don't earn enough. They're invisible mental cages, trapping us. Next, we'll smash these fragile yet stubborn cages. In the last section, we confronted the biggest demon, I don't earn enough. But even after moving that mountain, two sneakier voices whisper. They are less bold than I'm broke, but just as harmful. Let's drag them into the light. First, the myth that finance is too complicated. It says, saving I get, automation, sure. But investing? Stocks, funds, bonds. Those charts confuse me more than advanced math. I'm no finance grad, and I'm bad at math. What if I lose all my savings? I might as well spend it. This fear of the unknown is a huge barrier. But the latte factor offers reassurance. Our wealth system isn't for financial geniuses. It's for ordinary people who don't want to be experts, just want stable, good lives. Think, did we tell you to predict stock spikes? No. To time market peaks and troughs? No. We've only covered 2 simple steps. Find your latte factor and auto-invest those savings consistently into broad markets. What is this broad market? To put it simply, the easiest way is to buy something called an index fund. You don't need to study what it exactly is. You just need to know that buying it is equivalent to purchasing a small portion of equity in hundreds of the best companies in the country at once. You're not betting on whether a certain company will become the next Huawei or Tencent. You're betting that the country's economy will generally develop upward in the next few decades. As long as you have confidence in the future development of our country, this is the most worry-free, most suitable for lazy people, and often proven to be the most effective long-term investment method. You see, does this entire process require you to have a high IQ? Do you need to know a lot of complex financial knowledge? Not at all. The success of this system does not depend on your intelligence, but on your long-term persistence. You don't need to be a genius who makes decisive moves in the stock market. You just need to be an ordinary person who can abide by discipline, set up automation, then live your life with peace of mind and wait patiently. Time and compound interest will help you complete all the complex work. Okay, having solved the fear of being too complicated, let's look at the second and more fatal mental cage. This myth is someone will always take care of me. It usually isn't said out loud. It's more like a subconscious, an indistinct fantasy pervading your life. It might say, "Oh, no need to be so anxious. My parents will leave me something eventually." Or it might say, "I need to find a partner who is good at managing money and making money. Hand over the money to him and I'll be worry-free." Or it's an even more vague feeling, a fluke mentality that things will work out in the end. Regarding this myth, the response from the latte factor is unsparing, even a bit cruel, but this cruelty is precisely the greatest kindness. The book says that pinning your financial security on any other person is the riskiest financial plan in the world. Why? Because life is full of uncertainties. Parents will age, partners may leave, promises may be broken, and even the most loving relationships may face the tests of illness and accidents. In this world, the only person who can 100% guarantee to accompany you through life and provide for your old age is yourself. Henry, the mentor in the book, once said something very shocking to Zoe. He said that this dependent mentality is extremely dangerous, especially for women. Because in real society, women often interrupt their careers due to childbirth and family care, and their accumulation of income and pension is already at a disadvantage. Coupled with the fact that women generally have a longer life expectancy than men, this leads to a very heartbreaking reality. The book cites a shocking statistic. Up to 80% of widowed women live below the poverty line after their husbands die. 80%? This is no longer a cold number. It's a series of real tragedies constantly happening around us. Therefore, making you independently plan your own finances is not to make you cold, selfish, or distrustful of others. On the contrary, it's to make you stronger, more confident to love others, and to manage your family and relationships. It's that you love yourself enough to personally weave the strongest safety net for yourself. Your financial health is your dignity, your confidence, and your right to choose your life. This is something you can't outsource to anyone. You must become your own hero. Okay, by now we've cleared away the biggest stumbling blocks on the road. We know that income is not the core issue, that financial management isn't that complicated, and that we must rely on ourselves in everything. It can be said that the road to financial freedom has been cleared on the ideological level. So after the road is clear, what kind of steps should we take? What kind of wealth mindset do we ultimately need to establish to leap from a lifelong consumer to a true owner? In the final section, we'll reveal this ultimate mindset shift and present an action plan you can start immediately. Friends, by now, it can be said that the obstacles on the road to financial freedom, both in terms of methods and mentality, have been cleared away. So at the starting point of this broad road, we still need to complete the last and most important identity transformation. This is not just a skill, it's a new worldview for understanding the money world, which determines whether you become a player in the wealth game or just a spectator forever. The latte factor throws out an extremely profound insight at the end. It says that in this commercial world, every money transaction we make actually has us playing one of two roles. You are either a consumer or an owner. What is a consumer? It's simple, spending money to get a product or a service. You buy a cup of milk tea, and you're a consumer. You get a video membership card, and you're a consumer. There's nothing wrong with this itself. The entire social economy operates this way. But if the only role in your life is that of a consumer, then you are destined to create wealth for others all your life. Every penny you have is paying others' salaries, contributing to others' profits, and building others' business empires. What is an owner, then? An owner is someone who invests money in assets that can generate money for him. They don't buy goods, but a right to continuously create value. When you invest the saved money into your investment account, you are transforming from a consumer to an owner. What you buy is no longer a cup of milk tea, but 0.000 something shares of a milk tea company. What you buy is no longer a certain brand of mobile phone, but the future growth potential of the entire technology market. Each of us can complete this mindset leap. When you find your own latte factor and automatically invest the 30 yuan saved every day into your financial account, you are completing this sacred transformation. At that moment, you choose to no longer just play the role of a consumer, you start to become an owner. You are not saving money, you are buying a small part of this economic engine and making it start working for you. The final part of the latte factor gives a very simple action initiative, which can be called the Latte Factor Challenge. Just one day. I only ask for 1 day of your time. In the next 24 hours, pay attention to every time you spend money like a detective. No need to deliberately save, just follow your usual habits. In the evening, take out a piece of paper, write down all your expenses today, then circle those latte factors that you think are actually unnecessary, add them up, and see what the number is. This number is your hidden wealth potential. This number is the key to starting your journey as an owner. If you are brave enough, take the next step tonight and set up an automatic deposit. The amount can be small, even just 10 yuan. The amount doesn't matter. Starting this action itself is the most important thing. Because the great journey from consumer to owner, from feeling poor to feeling rich, never starts with a sudden wealth, but with this first trivial yet determined action. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next book.